You sit there, eyes fixed on the screen. Another video, another lesson. You see how good other people are, and you try to copy their results right away. You fast forward, skip the basic parts. You tell yourself, I'm smart, I don't need simple stuff like that. But then you notice something uncomfortable. You study a lot, you watch a lot, your notes are full, and you're still not getting better. There's a feeling you rarely say out loud, the feeling that you're falling behind, the feeling that there's something wrong with you, that maybe you're not good enough, not fast enough, not smart enough compared to others. You've tried to learn faster by taking shortcuts, but the more you take them, the more lost you become. Or deep down, you're also asking yourself, is it possible that the way I've been learning was wrong from the very beginning? And the important thing is, this is not your fault. You are not slow. You are not unintelligent. You are not lacking discipline the way you might think. The real problem lies in how we are taught to learn. The modern world pushes you to be creative too early, to skip foundations, to copy outcomes instead of understanding the process. Meanwhile, for hundreds of years, the Japanese have taken the opposite path. They learn through a system that is very simple, yet extremely precise, called Shuhari. Why does it work? Because it doesn't force you to be good immediately. It respects how the human brain actually learns, layer by layer, stage by stage, in harmony with natural development. When the Japanese begin learning any skill, they are not allowed to be creative. Not because they are restricted, but because they understand a truth very different from modern learning culture. The first stage of Shuhari is called Shu. It means to follow, to preserve, to protect the existing path. At this stage, the learner does only one thing: copy exactly. No personal ideas added. No adjustments to fit yourself. No attempt to make it different. When a student learns swordsmanship, they do not choose their own stance. They repeat every foot angle, every breath, every smallest movement of the teacher. When learning calligraphy, they do not write based on emotion. They place their paper over the teacher's strokes and trace them thousands of times until the hand moves without conscious thought. It sounds mechanical. But this stage creates what the Japanese call correct form, a foundation where the body and the brain learn a path that has been proven by hundreds, even thousands, of people before. Our problem is that we often skip Shu. We want our own style from the start. We want to create before understanding the basics. And we unknowingly build skills on a crooked foundation. The brain does not learn through inspiration. It learns through precise repetition. Each correct copy strengthens a neural pathway. Each time you make it different too early, that pathway becomes noisy. Shu does not kill creativity. It only delays creativity until you are stable enough to create without destroying yourself. You are not slow because you are moving slowly. You are moving fast on a foundation that hasn't fully formed yet. After a very long time in Shu, a natural moment appears. You no longer have to think about each step. The body begins to know what to do before the mind catches up. This is when the Japanese move into the second stage, Ha. Ha means to separate, to break away, but not to break blindly. At this stage, you begin to experiment consciously. You no longer copy exactly, but you also do not reject the foundation you've built. In the past, when a samurai had fully mastered all the techniques of their teacher, they were often sent to study elsewhere, not to forget what they had learned, but to test which parts truly belonged to them. Ha is the most psychologically difficult stage, because for the first time, there are no ready-made answers. You must accept that you will make mistakes, slow down, and feel awkward. Many people get stuck here. Either they leave Shu too early and call confusion creativity, or they are afraid to leave Shu and become very good imitators only. But only when you dare to step into Ha does understanding begin to become truly yours. instead of something borrowed from someone else. After many years passing through Shu and Ha, something strange happens. You no longer try to apply any principle at all. You stop asking which stage you are in, whether you are doing things right or wrong. Everything begins to flow naturally, as if it had been there all along. This is the final stage, Re. Re is not a destination you set as a goal. No one enters Re through willpower. You only realize you are there after it has already happened. At this stage, you no longer learn by following anyone, but you also do not oppose any tradition. You do not break the rules. You simply no longer need to think about the rules. What used to be technique becomes reflex. What used to require memorization becomes instinct. Your body and mind understand what needs to be done before thought can intervene. This is why outsiders often call it natural talent. They see ease. They see effortlessness. They see someone doing something as if it requires no effort at all. But they do not see the meticulous years of copying in Shu. They do not see the quiet trial and error of Ha. They do not see the self-doubt, the periods that felt like no progress at all. Re is not spontaneous creativity. It is creativity with roots so deep that you are no longer conscious of them. At this stage, you are no longer doing things the right way. You are doing things in alignment with who you are. Every action carries traces of experience, failure, observation, and understanding you have accumulated. The important thing is this: Rai cannot be forced. You cannot jump straight to it, and you cannot pretend that you are already there. Many people quit right before Re has a chance to appear, not because they are weak, but because they believe their effort is not good enough, when in reality, they are simply at the end of high. Re arrives when you stop trying to prove something, when you stop comparing, when you stop trying to be like someone else, and when you stop trying to be different from everyone else. You simply act, and what you do reflects who you are. This is also when you begin to pass things on to others, not through formulas, but through principles. You no longer teach step by step. You share ways of seeing, feeling, and understanding. If there is one great paradox of Re, it is this: the more you try to become a master, the further you move away from it. And when you stop trying to become one, Re appears as a natural consequence. You do not need to ask, when will I reach Re? The better question is, am I patient enough to walk all the way through Shu and Ha? Because Re does not reward the impatient. It only opens its door to those who stay long enough and accept growth without needing to be named. Most people never reach Re not because they lack ability, but because they leave the path too early. They begin to doubt themselves while the process is still unfolding. When they are in Shu, they grow impatient because they don't see visible change yet. When they step into Ha, they feel lost because everything becomes uncertain. And in that gray zone, they conclude that they don't have what it takes. We live in an era that glorifies fast results, where everyone shows achievements, but no one talks about the silent years of repetition behind them. So when progress stops being obvious, people assume they've chosen the wrong path. The truth is, Re never appears when you expect it. It doesn't come when you feel most confident. It usually arrives after a long period of doubt and exhaustion. Many people stop right before that threshold, simply because they don't realize how close they are. Those who reach Re all share one thing in common. They are not trying to become masters. They are simply patient enough to continue, even when there is nothing left to prove. Re is not for the most talented. It is for those who stay the longest. Applying Shuhari to any skill is actually simpler than you think. What's difficult is not the method, but accepting when to move slowly. First, you need to find someone who has truly gone far on the path you want to walk, not to admire them, but to borrow a path that has already been tested. In the early stage, you follow them almost completely. No changes, no additions, no improvements. If you're learning to write, analyze how they structure sentences. If you're learning music, play every rhythm exactly. If you're learning a mental skill, repeat how they think, not just the results they produce. When things start to feel smooth, you'll naturally sense a small gap appear. A quiet question. What if I tried it a little differently? That's the sign it's time to step into Ha. You change things one small piece at a time. You observe your own reactions. You keep what fits and let go of what feels forced. And if you stay long enough, one day you'll stop thinking about whether you're applying Shuhari at all. You'll simply be doing things in a way that feels naturally your own. The greatest value of Shuhari is not that it helps you learn faster, but that it clarifies the path you are on. You no longer have to guess whether you should be creative or disciplined. You only need to know which stage you are in and do the right work for that stage. Shuhari removes confusion from practice. When you repeat, you know you are not falling behind. When you experiment, you know you are not destroying your foundation. Everything has a reason, and everything has its timing. This system respects how the brain actually learns. Precise repetition builds pathways. Controlled variation makes them flexible. And eventually, the skill merges into who you are, without force. Shuhari does not ask you to believe blindly. It only invites you to be patient. And if you are patient enough, freedom arrives as a natural consequence, not a random reward. After everything you've just heard, perhaps the most important thing is not how much more you've learned. It's that you've begun to see yourself differently. You are not someone who never gets good. You are someone moving in the right order, just more slowly than you once expected. And slow does not mean wrong. You are not undisciplined or untalented. You are the kind of person patient enough to build a foundation before demanding freedom. The kind of person who chooses sustainable growth over rushed progress. If you understand that today, then you are more ready than you think. And if this video reached you in any way, stay. We can keep growing little by little together.